Hi, my name is Jacob and I'm your local neighborhood financial advisor. As opposed to other financial advisors with big institutions, they want to make money, and if they put you in certain places, they'll make money. I don't make any money by telling you where to go, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you all of the options, and if I give you enough information, I believe you could decide where you want to put your money. So, option number one, you could give your money to me, and I could put it in a mutual fund. What's a mutual fund? Well, like a mutual friend is a friend in common. A mutual fund is a fund in common. What's in common? The manager, the person managing the fund, or the group of people managing it. So, really, you're taking your money and you're putting it in a basket of money that other people could put their finances into. That's all a mutual fund is. It's just a basket managed by one person. So you could do that. And if you do that, then we're going to charge a management expense ratio. That's what an MER is. So, management expense ratio, that's what it stands for. And what is it? If you give your money to someone else to invest it, they're going to charge you a commission on it. And that's what the MER is. And it doesn't matter who you give your money to. If you don't want to manage it yourself, they're going to charge you a percentage of what the total account is worth. So, in the case of mutual funds, what I've seen is they charge 2%. That's the MER. So if you have $10,000 in your account, every year they'll take $200. If you have $1 million in your account, every year they'll take $20,000. So it does make a big difference once you actually do retire, because when you retire, you're going to leave your money in your savings account. You're not just going to take all your money out at 65, you're going to leave it in there, and you're going to let it keep on earning money while you take out only what you need. That way most of it is still earning money for you. So that's how you're going to retire. This 2% really hurts, especially around that time, because then your account's worth a lot more. So here's a risk chart. Here is how much risk you could have from no risk all the way up to high risk. If there's no risk involved in your money, then all your money will just be cash. It'll just be sitting there, and that's what no risk would be if that was a thing. So our next option after no risk is a low risk. So next up, for someone who might need their money in, say, 3 years or anything less than 5 years, I would recommend some fixed income. So, say you're in high school and you manage to save about $3,000 by the time you're in grade 9. Good for you. You could take that money, put it in a guaranteed income certificate, and that will increase your fixed income. Although you might not get as much money as you would if you put it in a high risk, you know it's coming in. So it's low risk, you do have some cash if you need to get to it. The rest is fixed income. We're moving on to medium risk now. Now we're up to medium risk. What do we add when we move up there? Stocks. Why? Because stocks go up usually more than fixed income in the long run. But they can go down. So if you're looking for the money say specifically 3 years from now, then stocks may not be your best bet, because on average they'll go up about 7% a year. But you really need to use time, at least 10 years, to assure yourself that you're going to get anywhere near a 7% return. So here's my recommendation. Don't do medium risk. Either really just stick with fixed income or just stick with cash if you know you're going to need the money soon. Next up is high risk. So what we're going to do now is we're going to increase the amount of stocks we have. Because in the long run, stocks will make us more money than that fixed income, and more money than our cash. So what we'll do now is we're going to erase our cash and we're just going to start buying stocks with it. That will increase our risk, but will also increase our return with time. Okay, so here we have medium high risk, where we have half fixed income and half stocks. Again, with time, this will outdo the fixed income. But if you know you're going to need some money soon, like say you're retiring in 9 years, then your portfolio will look more like that, as far as what a big bank will tell you. Lastly, we got high risk, and you can probably guess what that looks like. High risk, that's what that looks like. It's all stocks. Usually what you would do, you would pretty much split it between Canadian and American stocks, because I'm Canadian, so home country and American stocks. The US economy just works. Like, I don't want to praise them too much, but there's something about it that works a little bit better than the Canadian economy. So as far as my recommendation goes, stocks, about half US, half Canadians. But at the start I said one of our criteria is that we don't want to manage the money ourselves. And with stocks, often you have to pick. So I'm going to show you how you don't have to pick it, but can still get a safe return. And then I'll let you decide what you want to do with your money. For a quick recap, option 1 is you give your money to me, and we put it in a mutual fund where the MER is 2% every year. That's option 1. Option 2, since we don't want to manage our money, what we could do is you take your money and you put it in an ETF. An ETF buys stocks for you. ETF stands for Exchange Traded Fund. It buys stocks for you. Like a mutual fund, it has an MER, but it doesn't make that much money from its MER, because an exchange traded fund is done a lot online, whereas a mutual fund, you really need to recruit people to it. They could charge much less to manage your money. An MER for an exchange traded fund, you could probably expect something like an MER of 0.5% or less when it comes to exchange traded funds. So what happens, you wind up working extra years of your life to pay the bank, or you put your money in an exchange traded fund where they only take about 0.5%, and that's enough. That's a lot. You could find funds that are 0.05%, and I'll actually give you the name of one coming up. So all there's left is figuring out where we're going to put our money that has these types of fees. Like I said, I recommend half Canadian stocks and half American stocks. That's going to be your retirement plan. Save that money, put that money aside and don't touch it. Super important that you don't touch your money when you save it for retirement. That's what makes the real difference. And that's what's going to allow you to really take advantage of this 2% save. So let me just show you, because you'll have to do research on your own to find ETFs, and that's what people will tell you. Like, you have to research the ETFs and see what's worth it. A real cool shortcut, look up Google most popular ETFs Canada, and a lot of people did the research for you. Most popular ETFs, if you Google that, then all the American ones will show up. So based on that, I recommend, there's symbols that you'd have to look up. This is my American one I would invest in, and their MER is 0.05%. A mutual fund, you don't have to pay any money to put money in or take money out, but for an exchange traded fund, you'd have a online trading account, and you would have to pay $10 in and $10 out, which is $20 depending how many times you go in and out. I recommend you save up your money in chunks of, say, 3 or 4. That way, every quarter, or say every 4 months, you take what savings you have and you transfer it. That way you're paying $10 to transfer your money in your exchange traded fund, and you're paying $30 throughout the year in fees, as opposed to here, even if you just had 10 grand, you'd pay $200. So VOO, that's for my American stocks. That's the symbol I would look up for ETFs. And for the Canadian one is XIU. So, to recap, you could give your money to big banks, and they'll put it in a mutual fund, and they'll take 2% every year. But by the time you retire around 60, 65, your account will be worth almost $1 million, which means the bank will be taking close to $20,000 a year just in fees. Or you could put your money in an ETF and look up what the most popular ETFs are. That way you let other people do the research for you. And then you make significantly more money off your passive income. So as you could tell, giving your money to the bank through the MER is like giving your money to a Nigerian prince, just with none of the love. MER should really stand for Murdering an Elegant Retirement Plan. Thank you.